Okay. So good evening, beautiful, inspired souls, and a big welcome to everybody who's listening in, watching on replay, listening on the podcast. I am delighted to welcome Brad Yates as our guest this evening. Hi, Brad. How are you?
I am doing awesome. Thanks, Helen. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. A little bit fed up of the British weather right now, but other than that, I'm all good, and it's great to see you here this evening.
It's great to be here. I miss the British weather. I've been in London every 2 years since 2009. I'm hoping that I'll be back this year.
Oh yeah, fantastic. Well, hopefully the weather will brighten up for you because we've had no sunshine whatsoever. It's just raining.
I lived in London for 6 months, and I said, they say on a clear day you could see forever, and you'd never know in London because there's no such thing as a clear day.
No, there certainly isn't. Absolutely not. Oh, so enough about the weather. I'm just going to introduce you to the group. So I've got your bio here, which I'm going to read. I hope that's okay.
Absolutely.
So everybody, big welcome. Say hello to Brad. Make sure you drop us some comments. If anyone's got any questions, then just drop them in the comments box. We are on StreamYard, so you may need to grant permission so that we can see your names, but we will give you a shout out if we can. So Brad Yates is known internationally for his creative and often humorous use of tapping EFT, emotional freedom technique. Brad is the author of the best-selling children's book, The Wizard's Wish, the co-author of the bestseller, Freedom at Your Fingertips, and a featured expert in the film The Tapping Solution. He has also been a presenter at a number of events, including Jack Canfield's Breakthrough to Success, and has done seminars with the Secret Stars, Bob Doyle, and Dr. Joe Vitale, and has been heard internationally on a number of internet radio talk shows. And Brad has over 1,000 videos on YouTube that have been viewed millions of times. Now, I'm definitely in those millions of times because I watch your videos every day, and there is the hugest selection to choose from. I go on and I think, what am I going to go for today? It's never ending. So thank you for all of that amazing content. So let's start. First of all, let's go straight in. And for those who aren't sure or don't know much about EFT tapping, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, certainly. So EFT, which is short for, as you said, emotional freedom techniques, or a lot of us just call it tapping because it is literally a process of tapping with our fingertips on particular places around the face and torso primarily. And for anyone who's watching this and is not familiar with EFT, I know that looks a little strange. Bear with us. There's a really good reason why we do it. It's worth how silly it might look to you. It's based on acupuncture. So for thousands of years in Chinese medicine, they've said there's a flow of energy through the body along these pathways called meridians. And when this energy is flowing naturally, we experience our natural state of health and well-being, physically and emotionally. And when this energy gets stuck, we don't feel so good. We don't think as clearly. We don't make the best choices. And that has all kinds of unfortunate consequences for our lives. So in traditional acupuncture, the doctor would just stick needles in these key points. And we're just stimulating the same points by tapping with our fingertips. And if you thought of it as nothing more than stress relief, which is its primary function, that would show why it's so beneficial in so many areas of our lives, because most, if not all, of the issues that we face are either caused by or worsened by stress. So when we can reduce our stress, and there's scientific evidence showing that the tapping dramatically lowers stress, then you can see why it would be beneficial for so many different areas. Our success, our emotional well-being, our physical well-being, our relationships, you name it.
Yeah, so you can literally tap on anything, can't you? Because we use statements as we go around. So
try it on everything.
Yeah, absolutely anything at all. So you can, I mean, if you look at your videos on YouTube, there's one for so much. How do you come up with so many different ones? Do you just kind of get intuitive hits, or do people ask you, or do you just wake up and think, I haven't done one for that?
Yeah, all of those. I do get suggestions, but most of it is just ideas that come to me. I have long lists, and I'll be out walking And suddenly a thought will come to me. Maybe I'll be listening to a podcast or an audiobook, and I'll go, oh, hey, that would be a great thing to tap on. And I'll say, hey, Siri, send myself an email. And I have long lists of, for the over 1,000 videos I have, I probably have another 1,000 that I've written down as, hey, that'd be a great idea.
Oh, fantastic. So we can look forward to seeing lots more on YouTube then.
Every Monday, I've got a new one coming out.
Fantastic. They come out in your newsletter, don't they, as well?
Yep.
Yeah, so I get your newsletter. It's amazing. Okay, so this is what I've really wanted to ask you is how did you get into tapping? What's been your journey with EFT?
How does a grown man find himself tapping on his face for a living?
Yeah.
It just happens, that's one of those things.
Yeah, just all of a sudden start.
My road is a little different than some. I started out as an actor. That's why I lived in London. I studied acting in London and had toured the world doing theater and decided it's time to go to Hollywood to become a movie star, as one does.
Yeah, as you do.
And while I was there, I met a woman, fell in love, got married. And when our first child was on the way, I thought I should probably have a backup career. So I trained to become a hypnotherapist because I'd always been fascinated with the power of the mind.
Yeah.
Started building a small practice alongside my acting career. And after a couple of years, when our second child was on the way, I realized that as much as I loved acting, doing personal development work was really my calling. This is really where I felt most fulfilled and best use of my particular talents. And so I went full-time in hypnotherapy. And at that same time, like right around that time, through some other hypnotherapists, I heard about energy psychology and tapping. And I had the privilege of taking a course from Gary Craig, the founder of EFT, and started incorporating it into my work. And little by little, my sessions became tapping sessions with a little bit of hypnosis at the end.
Okay. Yeah. So it shifted over. You kind of moved into a different direction.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
And then YouTube came along, and I thought, hey, wouldn't it be really cool if there's a tapping video that people could start their day with? And I'll call it Tap of the Morning. And
I love that.
And that was all I intended to do, was that one video. I had no idea of creating a channel and doing all this. It was 6 months before I finally thought, there should be a video for people to end their day, and I'll call it Tap of the Evening. And then I'm done. And then and then a little while later, I had another idea, and then another one, and now there's over 1,000 of them.
Yeah, and as it does, these things evolve and they grow, and they've got your videos have got such a great following. I see all of them, and they've got like hundreds and thousands of likes. So it's so popular. It's so beneficial. So, like I say, I use EFT regularly myself. So obviously, you do a lot of videos and you work with people. You work with people on a one-to-one basis. Is that right as well? I
do.
Yeah. So all of this tapping, you must be clearing stuff all the time. But do you find you need to do tapping separately for yourself as well?
Oh no, Helen, at this point I am so evolved. It's unbelievable. Most of the time just walking around sort of a pink cloud.
You're the perfect human being now. You've tapped it all away. You don't need it.
Yeah. You said it, not me. So I used to be conceited, but now I'm perfect. I still have plenty of time, but knock wood, pretty small things. I am extremely blessed. Tapping has been very beneficial for me in my life, for success issues, for health, for personal issues. I am a pretty darn happy and blessed person.
Amazing. Oh, that's a great testament. But it's it's human, isn't it? We're never fully healed. The layers, we may tap and heal one thing, and then the next thing comes up. So we're always evolving and moving forwards. I guess that's what makes the journey so exciting.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's nice to know that, hey, it can still get better. I hate to think, wow, man, I guess I've peaked. Now what do I do?
Now what? Yeah, go back down again. Start again. Amazing. So anyone can tap, right?
I believe so. And I've tapped on my daughter when she was a baby when I first learned this. I get videos from people sometimes. They'll show me videos of their 2 or 3-year-old children tapping when they hear my voice when their parents are playing my videos. Yeah, and for people who are physically incapable of tapping, we can surrogate tap for them, or we can tap on them.
Yes, yeah. I've seen your surrogate tapping video. That's amazing. I've my 2 children have definitely been tapping as well. They're both terrible sleepers. They don't go to bed at night, so I've had to go between both of their rooms with videos going, right, we're going to go to see the Brad tonight and sit there and tap. And then I've done all the sleeping tapping, and yeah, fantastic. I absolutely love it. So at the moment, you work one-to-one with people, and you run your you do your newsletter, which is amazing. So people can find you on YouTube. You just need to pop in Brad Yates. I send so many people to your videos.
Thank you.
In my work, I often suggest trying EFT, and I post up different videos into my groups as well. So helping lots of people there. I love to signpost them to you.
I'm very gratified by that. It's always an honor when I hear people say, "Oh, I send my clients to you for homework." That's how I'd gone through so many different web addresses trying to come up with what will people remember, and people kept saying to me, "Oh, I always tell my friends, I tell my clients, tap with Brad, tap with Brad." I'm like,
yeah. Maybe there's a clue.
If that's what people are saying.
Yeah, maybe that's perfect. I'm just hopping into the comments a second, and my friend my friend Teresa has commented. It just says Facebook user, but I'm pretty sure this is Teresa. Excited to see you again, Brad. I was in Salt Lake City in the second row of your workshop with Jesse Reimers.
Awesome. That was a fun workshop.
Oh, fantastic. So Joe's here. Hi, Joe. Vanessa's here. If you don't grant StreamYard your permission, we can't see your names, guys, by the way. We've got lots of Facebook users. So hello, Facebook users. And Vanessa, absolutely. I'm so looking forward to knowing more to reduce my stress levels. I've lived on adrenaline for 6 years now. So tapping.
Time to take a break, Vanessa.
Yes. release some of that. And tapping, I know, is particularly good for stress and anxiety. I've used it myself when I used to suffer really badly with anxiety. So Vanessa, definitely check out Brad's videos afterwards. And I think we're going to do a little bit of tapping tonight.
Oh, by all means. As long as we're here.
Let's do it. So I'm going to hand over to you, Brad, and everyone at home can join us. If you're on the podcast, if you know the tapping points, then perfect. If not, then you might want to drop me an email and I can send you a graphic where the points are. But for everyone watching, you just can tap along with us.
Yeah. Why don't we start with stress? Because that's something that all of us deal with. You know, whether we're really stressed out or it's just the ambient stress that most of us experience, particularly in this information age where we're, walking around with little stress devices that remind us constantly, are you upset yet? Be upset about this.
Stress you out as much as possible.
Yeah. You're looking too calm. Here, let me tell you something that's going to upset you.
Yes, that's so true. Notifications and phones going off constantly. Yeah. Drain.
Yeah. So what I'll invite everyone to do is go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and hold it. And let it go. And just check in with yourself right now. Just following your breath through your body. Just allow yourself to be aware of how you're feeling at the moment. Noticing how you're feeling physically and how you're feeling emotionally. Notice how much stress might be there. You can rate it on a scale of 0 to 10. And it may feel like something different. It may be worry or fear or anger. These are all different emotions that we experience in a stressful way. So allow yourself to be aware of how much discomfort might be there. Allow yourself to be aware of the thoughts, beliefs, and memories that might be fueling that stress. Now take a deep breath. Open your eyes and just tapping with the index middle finger. Just tap where I tap and repeat back what I say. Even though I feel this stress, I choose to love and accept myself. Even though I feel this stress, I choose to love and honor myself. Even though I feel all this stress, and it may just be a little bit, and it may be a lot. Maybe I'm freaking out right now because of all the stuff going on in my life and all the stuff going on in the world. And part of me says, stress is the appropriate response. But it's really uncomfortable. And even though I feel all this stress, I choose to deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. And maybe anyone else involved. All this stress. All this stress. All the stress I feel in my body. Maybe it's just in one part of my body. Maybe I'm feeling it all over. And it's not a particularly good feeling. And I'd like to process it. I'd like to clear it out. I'd like to relax. Part of me says I can't. Part of me says, look at what is going on. How could you possibly relax at a time like this? Some people might say, if you're not freaking out, then you're just not paying attention. So I'm trying to do my due diligence. Feeling the stress that is so appropriate. Even though it's not very helpful. But I love and appreciate those parts of me that are holding on to this stress, believing that it's necessary. Maybe I feel like I need it to motivate me. Maybe if I were feeling too relaxed, I just wouldn't take any positive action. And my old programming tells me, stress will make me do what I need to do. And how's that working for me? I'm feeling all this stress. Am I doing everything I could do to make my life better? Because the problem with stress, other than the damage it does to my body, is that it makes it hard for me to think clearly. The more stressed out I am, the more my prefrontal cortex shuts down. And that's where my rational thinking comes from. I want to have the best choices so I can take the best action. Stress makes it difficult to make the best decisions. As I clear the stress, I can think more clearly. So what am I so stressed about? And what am I most afraid of? And is this fear rational? Or is it based on misunderstandings? And I'm clearing up any confusion. I'm allowing myself to make better choices so that I can take better action. And I'm allowing myself to feel better in body, mind, and spirit. And take a deep breath. With your eyes closed, just go inside and check on those stress levels again and rate it again on a scale of 0 to 10. Hopefully that number has come down. For some, it'll come way down. For some, it may be more gradual. And you may just be more aware of what you're stressed about, what you might be afraid of, and then you can tap more specifically on those particular issues.
Thank you so much. I definitely feel calmer. Definitely feeling calmer. We started with the statements. Then I thought, oh no, should I repeat them back afterwards? So I was getting stressed immediately, thinking, no, should I have repeated them? Oh, I can't start now. I was saying them in my head. I was like, that's good.
Perfect. Some interviews go that way, where the host repeats, and sometimes they don't, and it works out perfectly either way.
Either way, it works, doesn't it? So Vanessa's saying, oh, wow, that's so powerful. So how are you feeling, Vanessa? Are your stress levels reduced? And Brad, is there any limit as to how much you can tap? I mean, how many videos in a day of yours can we consume without it being dangerous?
Probably the number one question I get on Facebook is, and to me, there's no one right answer. For some people, 2 videos might be too much. It may just, 5 minutes of tapping may be all they can handle.
Yeah.
For others, they could tap all day long. I've done workshops where I'm tapping with people from morning until evening on a whole bunch of different issues. And, some people love that. I've done, I've done 2-hour workshops, and I have done weekend-long workshops. And some people say, oh, it's the weekend's too long. And other people, it's like, oh, it's not even enough.
Yeah.
So I always say there's no one right answer. Check in with yourself and see what feels appropriate for you.
Yeah, because it can be very powerful, and there's a release afterwards, isn't there? So actually during that, I was feeling like I wanted to yawn, and I didn't really want to yawn. I'm doing it tonight, but usually
absolutely fine. Yawning is the most common physical expression of energy shifting that people experience during tapping.
Yeah, yawning, and I think coughing is another one, or just anything that's that shift. So definitely that yawn is not tiredness, it's just that energy shifting. So it's amazing. It's
not that you're bored with me.
Yeah,
it really is not.
I can't yawn while we're doing the tapping. So Mona was saying that she felt the tension in her body let go.
Excellent.
Vanessa was very emotional and was crying. Again, that's a great release, isn't it? Tears, crying is so incredibly cleansing. I was crying, and that released so much stress. The combo of tapping and crying, amazing. That's brilliant. So I always love it when my clients cry. And that was amazing. And we've got another Facebook user. I'm wondering, I just jumped in on this tapping for stress. I started a new job a few weeks ago, and I'm always feeling stressed, but mostly because I'm having a hard time feeling confident to do the job. Is there something on feeling competence and confident?
Absolutely. To me, we already have confidence inside. because we had it as a child. That's how we were able to learn to walk and talk and all these other things. And we knew we could figure things out, but we didn't worry about looking foolish.
Mm.
And as adults, this is why we have to learn to walk as babies. Because as adults, we would fall down once and go, well, I look like a complete idiot. I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm meant to crawl.
So true. I give up. I'm not doing
Yeah.
it anymore.
But so I like to talk about what I call the Michelangelo principle. So Michelangelo said that his statues were already there inside the marble, and all he had to do was chip away what didn't belong to reveal the masterpiece inside.
Yeah.
Same with our most confident self is already in there. So let's do this. With EFT, we generally start with the negative phrase, I feel this stress. And that freaks some people out the first time they're introduced to EFT, because they're thinking, whoa, no, you're not supposed to talk about the problem. You're supposed to talk about the positive. Always focus on the positive. Okay, so if you break your arm, do you go to the doctor and say, let's talk about my leg? My leg feels great. I only want to talk about my leg. So we have to address what's there.
Yeah.
But we can also focus on the positive, because when we're talking about the positive, any resistance that we feel, any negative thoughts we might have about that are going to come up. We're going to feel the stress about that, and then we're going to be clearing that as well. So while it's most effective to be as direct as possible, if you know specifically what's there, like I can't feel competent because there's a lot of math involved and I was never really good with numbers, then you can tap specifically on, even though I feel like I'm no good with numbers. Yeah. But we can also tap into that inner confidence. So let's do that. So go ahead and close your eyes. Yeah. Take a deep breath in and hold it. And let it go. And maybe for the fun of it, imagine looking in a full-length mirror and seeing your most confident, competent, best self. Really seeing that best self, who knows that you're awesome, who knows that even if you don't know how to do something yet, you're going to figure it out because you've got what it takes to do what it takes. Just allow yourself to be aware of how fully you can feel that you are that person. So in this case, on a scale of 0 to 10, the 10 is a positive. So 10 is, of course, I'm that person. I'm awesome. And don't judge yourself harshly if the number is lower than you'd like it to be. Just allow yourself to be aware of that. And see what's going on in there. Take a deep breath. Open your eyes. And let it go. And just before we start the tapping, I'm going to really quickly address a question from someone else named Facebook user. A lot of people with the same name. Amazing. Question about someone losing their hearing. Tapping has been beneficial on so many things. As we said earlier, try it on everything. I'm not going to make any claims about, oh yes, tapping can completely restore hearing. But it can certainly help with that. We have seen some remarkable things happen with tapping. Yeah. It can also help with all the emotions that come up around that. There might be a lot of fear about that, a lot of stress and worry, a lot of anger. So, even if the hearing goes, it's like, okay, but at least I can choose to feel as much peace as possible. Yeah. Yeah. So that's where we want to get to, is that place of peace. Sometimes there are things that we cannot control, but allowing ourselves to, like with the serenity prayer, having the serenity, even amongst the things that we aren't able to control. Yeah. So let's tap into some confidence here, though. I choose to feel more confident. I choose to love and accept myself. I choose to feel more confident. And I choose to love and honor myself. I choose to feel more confident. I choose to know that I've got what it takes to do what it takes. And with the things I don't know how to do yet, I've got what it takes to figure it out. And I choose to feel more confident. And I choose to deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. And maybe anyone else involved in this. I choose to feel more confident. I choose to feel much more confident. Even though I struggle with some things, sometimes it's a lack of skill. Sometimes it's cognitive functioning. Sometimes I just feel so tired. And that takes away from my confidence. It takes away from feeling competent. And my old programming tells me, if you don't do it perfectly the first time, you need to feel like a loser. And you need to really beat yourself up to motivate yourself to get it right the next time. How's that working for me? Because the more I beat myself up, the more exhausted I feel. The more stressed I feel. And that is not good for my cognitive functioning. So I choose to clear that need to beat myself up. Sure glad I didn't do that as a baby. I would have never learned anything. I've got what it takes to do what it takes. As best as I can. And there may be some places where I have limitations. And I choose to love and appreciate myself anyway. There are some things that are going to be harder to do. And I can still choose to feel confident that I can get better at it. And I choose to know I'm doing the best I can at the moment. And there may even be reasons why I shortchange myself and why I limit my abilities. Maybe part of me is afraid of doing better. Maybe I'm afraid that if I felt more confident and I was more competent at my job, they're going to raise their expectations of me. And I have a lot of old programming that says keep others' expectations low. Otherwise, you'll disappoint them. Part of me might want to be tired. so that I can lower other people's expectations. And if this is the case, it's not that I'm bad or stupid. It's not that I'm weak or lazy. It's just that I've got this old programming telling me that it's not safe to be any better. It's not safe to do any better. And maybe for a bunch of different reasons. Maybe I'm afraid of expectations. Maybe I'm afraid of being more successful. Because that could lead to some changes in my life. And part of me hates change. So if I can slow down my progress, I get to hang out in my comfort zone longer. And I love and appreciate all those parts of me that are just trying to keep me safe. Clearing all these reasons to slow myself down. Clearing all these reasons to limit my capacity. Clearing all these reasons for limiting my confidence. It's okay for me to feel confident. And there are times where I feel more limited. And I choose to make peace with that. Beating myself up isn't going to make me better. And there may be some areas of my life where I might not be able to get much better. And feeling bad about that doesn't help. So I choose to love and forgive myself. I choose to love and appreciate myself. I choose to love and respect myself. I choose to love and honor myself. And I choose to feel more peace in body, mind, and spirit. And take a deep breath. Close your eyes, take another deep breath. Check in with yourself and allow yourself to be aware of, well, so again, looking in the full-length mirror and seeing your best version of yourself. And as you think about how far you are, how close you are to being that person, rate that again on a scale of 0 to 10. And hopefully that number's come up. And also allowing yourself to be aware of, there may be certain things that we have, if we have a physical issue, maybe we've experienced some injury, and to tell ourselves, well, you know what, I should just still be able to work at full capacity. You can't, depending on what it is. And we can still feel confident and go, hey, I'm doing the best I can given the circumstances that I have right now. And letting go of any need to feel stressed about that. It's like, hey, this is what I've got right now. And I'm going to do the best I can. And if other people are unhappy with that, I'm going to tell them about this channel on YouTube and they can go tap on their disappointment.
Yeah, I love that. Just send them to Brad.
I'll fix them.
Yes. That was amazing. That one really resonated with me because I could feel my eyes filling up then. I thought, I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry on the live while we're tapping, but that's all good.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Crying, yawning. Come on, Helen, go for it.
I'm just going to let it all out. Joe's saying that she was laughing at the end of that and it felt so good. And we've also got Facebook user, and this is along the lines of something I was going to ask actually, is do you plan what you say? And is there a formula to the statements?
Yeah, so the basic version of EFT is you figure out what you want to tap on. So for instance, the first one we tapped on stress. So we'd say, okay, I feel stressed, rate it on a scale of 0 to 10. Let's say it's an 8. What's the physical sensation? Oh, I feel tightness in my shoulders. Whatever it is, we just get an idea of how much it is. And then we say, even though I feel this stress, I choose to love and accept myself. And then we just tap on each point saying, all this stress, all this stress, all this stress. That's the basic formula. I don't have a set formula when I'm doing it the way I do it. So like when I go to tap on a subject, I may have a few notes that, for my videos, but in general, I just have one word or one short phrase. And then I let spirit take over. It's kind of a channeling process for me. It's download information. So again, I might just start with, even though I feel this stress, and then it's like, oh, I should say this. Oh, okay, now I should say this.
Right.
And I just go with it.
You just let it flow, because that's what I always struggled with at the beginning when I first started tapping on my own. I just thought I don't actually know what to say, and that's why I found your videos have been great, because you know exactly what to say. So it's like, okay, I'll just hand it over to Brad and let him.
Something knows exactly what to say. Yeah. I know how to tap and keep my mouth going.
Yeah,
and letting it go through. And the more I tap, the more I get out of the way and allow it to come through. And then there are certain analogies that I will use over and over in certain phrases that will come up. It's sort of like a guitarist who has a particular riff that they'll use in different songs. Yeah. So it's very much like that when I'm going through. That's why I made the videos, because some people stay away from, they avoid using it because they say, I don't know what to say. And so it's like, here, let me make it simple for you. I'll say it. And then if you feel other words coming up during the tapping video, by all means, go for it. If something is coming through you and saying, oh, wow, I just remember this event that happened in the 3rd grade and I feel like I should talk about it. By all means, you can still just keep tapping along and think about that issue, or just say the word. Don't worry about the words that I'm saying, and say this issue that happened in the 3rd grade. Oh, when that friend said that really mean thing to me. And
so you can completely tailor make it for your own stuff. We've all got our own individual things, so we can just change it. So I'm just looking at, we've got, wow, thanks so much. Tears for me for sure. Someone else is crying as well. Brilliant. Feel blessed to have had the chance to tap with Brad twice, and both times have been brave enough to bring up this issues I've been struggling with. Thanks, Teresa. Mona, thank you. The timing is amazingly perfect. Of course it is. Everything happens.
You manifested that.
Yeah. And Vanessa, this is a real eye-opener. Thank you so much. My first experience of tapping, such that it's significantly keyed in on what my morning has been. There we go. Just what you need at the right time. And we've got a question here. How does tapping work with hypnosis?
It works really well with hypnosis. As I say, used to do my hypnotherapy sessions, and then little by little, they became tapping sessions, and I still like to do a little hypnosis at the end. So I don't so much do hypnotherapy the way I used to, where I used that as the main tool to address issues. But I'd like to do guided imagery, where I will bring in some of the ideas that we've been tapping on to reinforce those things, like enhancing confidence, enhancing peace and well-being, and trying to create some images while someone's in that deep meditative state and are more open to hearing those. Because the hypnotic process is so nurturing for the physical and mental part of this.
Yeah, amazing. We've got another comment here. Finding your YouTube videos have been life-changing. So fab to be able to tap along with you tonight, Brad. Thank you so much for all you do for all of us. Yeah, it's
My pleasure.
It's amazing what you do with these videos and so much time. It's just incredible. I've taken some of your longer term programs and love how you do the tapping, then end with a guided meditation. Very powerful. Brilliant. So can you do, so we always do the tapping round starting with a negative. Could you just program in positive affirmations?
Yeah. So it's kind of doing that with that last round on confidence. So you can take what you want to achieve. And so instead of saying, even though I have this problem, say, I choose to be more confident. I choose to have this. I choose to feel that I am wealthy. I choose to feel that I am healthy.
Okay.
Because what will happen, again, going back to this, our best self is already in there. So as we focus on that best self, I'm confident, I'm wealthy, I'm connected to the source of all things, which you are. There's, if you're working on wealth, there's plenty of money out there. What stops you from allowing it into your life? The fear that I don't have what it takes, the fear that I'm not deserving, the fear that my relatives will all want a handout. What are the different things? So as we talk about being wealthy and we're tapping, those fears will start to come up because during this tapping, it's like peeling the layers of the onion, and we start to get more aware of why we might be resisting having these attributes, why we might be resisting having these resources.
Yeah.
And then we can tap and clear out all this fear. So that's why even with the confident thing, I started out with, I choose to feel more confident. And that brought up, okay, what are the reasons why I might not feel more confident? I choose to have more energy. Why might I not want to have more energy?
That's good, because we block ourselves, don't we? We actually start, like you say, we are our best selves, but we put all these blocks, self-sabotage, limiting beliefs in the way so that we don't have to be successful.
To protect ourselves. I like to say that self-sabotage is simply misguided self-love.
Yes.
It is how we protect ourselves from something that we have learned is not safe for us.
Yeah.
So using the example of money, most of us consciously say, of course I want more money. I want a lot more money.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of programming about money that's very negative.
Yeah.
Rich people are greedy and they're bad. And, if you have more money, the tax man's going to take it all. And there's, people will rob you and your friends will be jealous. So we talk about the conscious mind being 5 to 10% of our mind and the unconscious being the other 90 to 95%. So the 10% is saying, I'd love to be rich. And the other 90 is saying, no.
I know that's where I've been going wrong all this time.
Yeah. And so we will brilliantly sabotage our success. We'll forget to make those phone calls. We'll get busy doing something other than what would make more money or what would help us meet the right person if we want to be in a relationship or what stops us from exercising if we want to be healthier. We are brilliantly stopping ourselves from doing what will move us into a situation that we have been programmed to believe is not safe for us or that we don't deserve or something along those lines. It doesn't feel safe. So we stop ourselves and then we beat ourselves up. It's like, oh, I wanted to lose weight and I just ate a pint of ice cream. I'm so stupid. I'm such a loser. Or I forgot to make that call, or I showed up late to work. I'm so stupid. No, you're brilliant. You are brilliantly trying to keep yourself in your comfort zone. Now, the question is, how can I do it in a healthier way, in a more positive way, a way that actually gets me the results that I really want, and clearing the fear of having more money, being healthier, being in a relationship, etc.
Yeah. Human beings, we're weird, aren't we?
We're magnificently so.
all these things we stop ourselves from doing, but luckily there are people like you on the earth to help us to work our way through it. Brad, thank you so much for being an amazing guest this evening. It's been a real honor to have you in the Inspired Souls Facebook group, and I will speak on behalf of everybody. I think the comments and everyone's really enjoyed it this evening. So if you Actually, I'll hand over to you. Where can people find you? How can they get in touch with you? How can they work with you?
Thank you. You can find me at my website, tapwithbrad.com. On YouTube, of course, Tap with Brad. It's Tap with Brad on Instagram and Facebook. I'm all over the place. And hopefully, as the world opens up, I will literally be all over the place.
Yeah.
Love traveling around doing live workshops. So
amazing. Well, I'll look out. Hopefully you'll be doing something in London or near us. Well, near me. And then I can come and visit and see you in person. So amazing. Thank you so much for your time this evening. Really enjoyed it. You've brought me to tears nearly. What more could you want on a Monday? Well, Monday morning for you. Yeah. Evening for us.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. I greatly appreciate the opportunity to share this work. Thank you to everyone who was willing to tap along, because the more you clear your stuff, the more you set yourself free to share more of the gift that you are with the world. And I really appreciate you doing that.
Amazing. Well, that's fantastic. Thank you so much indeed. We'll let you go and carry on with your week. And thank you everybody for tuning in.